it's always gonna be. That's a good question.
Well, we're all waiting. I'm about gonna fall asleep. Wake me up when you want a story.
Wake up.
Oh, what?
Pook to the moon.
Pook to the moon? Okay. Once upon a time, there were some people, and they lived in a country, and that country had a goal to get to the moon. And the king of the country got all the people together and said, listen, we have to get to the moon to find out what it's made out of. Is it made out of cheese? Somebody said, maybe it's made out of rocks. And everybody laughed at him. And nobody knew what the moon was made out of. And the king said, how can we get to the moon? Somebody said, a giant slingshot. And everybody said, that's a pretty good idea. Another guy said, a rocket ship. And everybody laughed at him. What's a rocket? And then another guy said, I know, a long metal tube that you sit in the bottom of, eat beans and pook. And everybody said, that's the best idea. And the king said, therefore we shall now decree this nation shall pook to the moon within 10 years. And so they started doing it. And they got all the people gathered together to figure out how to make spacesuits and do tests and make a spaceship and a launch pad. And they tried and tried. They tried putting monkeys into a spaceship and having them pook, but the rocket ships would always just kind of fall over, and then they would start pooking and they would just go in a circle on the ground. And sometimes they would put other, like pigs in there because pigs pook a lot more. And they would strap the pigs in and feed them some stuff, and the pigs would be like, but the rocket took off and didn't go towards the moon. It just went off into space. Nobody knew where those pigs went. They never came back. And then finally, a man stepped forward and said, we can't send those animals into space. We got to send a real human being. And the king said, I think you're right. Let's start training up people to go in the spaceship to the moon. And we'll call them Pookalots. So they went to Pookalot school, and they would eat all sorts of food. Like some of them would eat chocolate, and it would be like, I don't feel like I need to pook so much. But another one might eat some berries and go, I feel gassy, but not really pooky. And then, one day, a technician, not even a Pookalot guy, was just sitting in the corner eating some beans while they were having a meeting. And all of a sudden, somebody said, what's that smell? Oh, they all said. And the technician couldn't help it because he ate a whole can of beans. He was like, and he was filling up the meeting room with pooks. People were coughing. Some of them needed some water. Like, I need some water. Some of them were getting woozy, like, I think I'm going to pass out. Finally, the king said, who's doing that? And the technician stood up and said, I'm so sorry. I ate too many beans for lunch. I should have known. He said, you. And the technician said, yes. And he said, you will be the first man to pook to the moon. And everybody said, hooray! And the technician said, I'm not a Pookalot, dog. Actually, they should be probably called Pookanauts. But anyway, they got him in a suit, and they put a whole bunch of beans in the spaceship, and they put a pooker engine in the bottom. And he went and ate some beans, ate a lot of beans. Then he floated down towards, climbed down towards the engine, strapped in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off he went. And everybody's like, wow. And they watched him. Is somebody pooking right now, by the way?
No.
Okay. He went up and up and up and up. Went up really high, like past the buildings and stuff. And then the ship started to go down, downer. He unbuckled, raced up to the top, and ate as many beans as he could. The spaceship was falling towards the Earth, and he climbed back down the ladders, strapped in, and then went up and up and up. And he did this a few times, dodging some birds and some planes, flying through some clouds, until he got all the way to the atmosphere. He kept pooking, flying past satellites and spaceships, even some asteroids, until finally he saw the moon within reach. And he said, I see the moon. And the people who were monitoring him from the Earth said, okay, proceed to land. And just as he was landing, a spaceship showed up. He said, there's a spaceship here. What should I do? And the spaceship started shooting. It's shooting at me. And the spaceship was wearing down the shields on the rocket. And the king said, quickly, somebody tell him where the guns are. And everybody said, we didn't put guns on there. And the king said, you're kidding me. We don't have any guns in space. What kind of world are we living in? And then somebody thought of an idea. And they said, I know what he could do. He could make a poop gun out of a window and a big long tube. And the king said, that's crazy, but it's just crazy enough to work. All right. And they explained to him how to do it. And the spaceship was shooting. So he took a hammer and he broke out a window. And then he put a big tube in there. And he aimed it towards the spaceship, ate a bunch of beans, and strapped himself in. And a huge poop came out. And it went flying across space and landed right on the UFO. And the spaceship went, and everybody cheered, yay! Then he slowly landed the spaceship onto the moon. And he said, this is one small pook for me, but one giant pook for mankind. And he landed on the moon. The end.
Wait, what was it made of?
Oh, the moon?
Mm-hmm.
Cheese.
Daddy, wait.
Oh, that's good they pook back. What?
Well, just say what it was made of.
Okay, ready? Cheese.
All right.
What's the name of the story?
Pook to the Moon.
All right.